It's a big problem, Cameron, and that's the first bit to say that it's kind of a knot that's difficult for scholars to undo, for Muslim scholars to undo.
All right, you just heard it. That was Gabriel Said Reynolds. He's a top scholar of Islam, and he's
Ustad Gabriel Reynolds has presented to us what just might be the one argument against Islam that will completely give every single Muslim doubts on Islam. Ustad Gabriel Reynolds says it is not clear whether the Quran actually believes that Jacob, peace be upon him, is the son of Abraham or the grandson of Abraham. And he even posits in his book, The Quran and the Bible, the greatest modern work on the Quran. He says in there, the Quran suggests that both Isaac and Jacob were sons of Abraham. The Quran never describes Jacob as Isaac's son. Guys, this is why we have to open our minds to these Orientalists. Open our minds to these scholars who were enlightening us on the true message of the Quran, unveiling that the author of the Quran doesn't know basic details of the Old Testament. We should all be indebted towards Mr. Gabriel Said Reynolds. Wait, what is that I hear? Is someone saying that the Quran talks about Jacob being the son of Isaac, who is the son of Abraham? No. There's no way. Ustad, Shaykh al-Islam, Gabriel Reynolds makes such a basic blunder. Mr. Professor of Islamic Studies at Notre Dame, there's no way he makes such a simple error. I refuse to believe it. What is that you say? Just read the second chapter of the Quran? Well, okay, let's pull up Surah Al-Baqarah. Let's read through it. Did you witness when death came to Jacob? He asked his children, who will you worship after my passing? So Jacob's sons reply, continue to worship your God, the God of your forefathers, Abraham, Ishmael, and Isaac. So Isaac can't be the brother of Jacob according to this verse. I refuse to believe this. Has someone tampered and compromised Quran.com? All jokes aside, guys, just wanted to play that little scene for you guys to really show you how idiotic these guys are. They present themselves as academics, professors of Islamic studies from the University of Notre Dame and Harvard, and dude, these guys are jokers. You have Gabriel Reynolds not even managing to realize a verse in Surah Al-Baqarah refutes his whole theory of the Quran depicting Jacob as possibly being the son of Abraham and the brother of Isaac. It's very clear, based on this verse we just read, that Isaac is not the brother of Jacob. Now, basically why I'm making this video, and I'm making a series of videos, is because Mr. Gabriel Said Reynolds hops on apologists channels such as Capturing Christianity and spouts his utter nonsense. So what we're going to do here, guys, is we're going to show just how much this guy is an expert on Islam. In this video, where it's dedicated to his first basic blunder, which we just highlighted, really, how do you make such a basic blunder when you're a professor of Islamic studies at Notre Dame? I could never understand. I would revoke his scholarship if I was Notre Dame, to be honest. And you might just say, oh, this is just an isolated thing. But in fact, no, it's not, guys. This is actually a common thing with Gabriel Reynolds. This guy is a joker. Either he's being purposely uncharitable to Islam, or he's just missing some IQ points. So the purpose of this is to expose his pseudo scholarship, starting with the point we made about Jacob and Ibrahim alayhim salam. Continuing from that, this joker believes that in Surah Al-Kahf, he thinks that when he says we feared, Khidr here is actually talking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala having probabilistic knowledge. I'm not going to even go into the tafsirs explaining it and so on, because it's just apparent to anyone. There is no way the author of the Quran intends we feared to mean that God himself has probabilistic knowledge. Dude, are you that mentally enslaved and intellectually debilitated? Inshallah, in the future, we're also going to be refuting him on other topics, such as him saying that Paul has some influence on the Quran, which is going to be really hilarious to go through in the future.
The coming of the day of resurrection is compared to the twinkling of the eye. That's intriguing because it's in a letter of Paul. It's in 1 Corinthians, and the Quran does not seem to recognize Paul as an authoritative and inspired prophet.
But also his claim that the author of the Quran doesn't have an idea of the contents of the Injil, of what the gospel is. That's also going to be fun to do in the future.
So what is your view on the Injil? What do you think?
This is my way of saying that the Quran itself just doesn't give us content of the Injil. Now, there are actually terms of phrase from the New Testament, like, the camel in the eye of the needle, that's in Quran 7, but it's not connected to Jesus. The mustard seed is in there, not connected to Jesus. So you can find kind of traces of gospel language, but none of it's connected to Jesus.
But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is going to be a quick, short video just to, get you guys ready for what's to come. Now, this is a war against Mr. Gabriel Reynolds. He already has me blocked on Twitter for some reason. I assure you, he is going to ignore all of these videos we make on him. But Gabriel, your time is up. It's time for you to get exposed. It's been a long time coming. Inshallah, myself, Brother Leafy, we're going to be on a roll, just completely slating this guy for all the nonsense that he's been publishing throughout these years, and really showing people that this guy has no credibility. This guy has no authority. This guy makes basic blunder after blunder after blunder. He is someone we call a pseudo-academic. How is it that me, some random 23-year-old in Australia, manages to find a new gospel intertext that you never managed to find? You're a professor of Islamic studies, paid by the Pope himself, and you can't even notice these gospel intertexts? It just shows you how terrible you are at your job, at your livelihood. And I don't care if people are going to say that, we are apologists. And dude, this guy, his own colleagues, people he would consider his own colleagues, I'm not going to name them, in academia, they have told me this guy is an apologist himself. So no, I'm not going to take it as in I'm an apologist, he's just high and mighty academic and he's being unbiased and he's being impartial. No, cut the bullcrap. This guy is a Catholic apologist. This guy takes uncharitable views on Islam. Everyone knows it, and I'm calling his BS for what it is. And we are going to expose his BS for what it is. And I'm going to enjoy every single second of it, as I'm sure a lot of you guys will also. I'm going to be the spokesperson for these people that, obviously because of the academic credibility, they can't say in public. I'm going to be the mouthpiece for them. And we're going to expose Gabriel for who he is, an apologist. If you do want to support my channel, inshallah, be sure to like and subscribe and look out for the next video on this channel. This is going to be a series on Gabriel Reynolds, and it's going to be one of many series where we debunk these apologists masquerade themselves as academics and people that are impartial. It's going to be a pleasure to continue this series. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.